Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today's video I will be working on a page from Johanna Basford's World of Flowers. Towards the back of the book I've selected this fun page because it's actually a buddy colour page, so it gets a couple of jobs done for me at once. I'm going to grab some paper to pop underneath. I always work with some paper in between my sheets so it doesn't print through onto the next page. If you hear some very odd sounds now, my little, can't call him a helper because he's a menace, has decided to arrive just as I start to film, of course. I'm pretty sure you guys have met Winston before and are well aware of how loud and snorty he is, so ignore the weird sounds. Right, so messy, thanks for that, dude. Yeah, he'll be running around in the background probably. We'll see how we go. So I'm going to use my Schpirrer farben pencils. I have the 96 set and I haven't tried them on this paper yet, and of course you guys know I do my what paper what pencils videos, so I'm always trying to try different pencils on different paper. I've pulled 3 greens and a yellow here. I've got 620 tropical green, 580 olive green, 570 lime and 040 light yellow. I'm going to start with my dark colour and we'll just pull out the pencil sharpener just in case. And all I do with Johanna Basford books, I like to keep things nice and simple, a bit like my Hannah Lynn. I'm not going for super realistic or too detailed, just popping some fun colour down and relaxing. I pop dark edges, so I'm going to take my deep colour and I'm going to pop that on the edges of my objects and just fade that in so that the next colour will blend in without any harsh lines. I'm going to pop a little here as well. And we just start working our way through everything. So that's all I do for those. And then I will take my medium green and I will pop that over the top and work that up a little bit, and again blend that off into nothing. Work those colours inwards. I'm just going to do a few bits and pieces with you guys, and then as always I'll do the other bits to match and come back to do the next piece. So I'm going to take it that light kind of almost fluorescentish green and work that almost all the way in. And then my yellow colour, this light yellow, just going to pop that in the centre part. And we're just creating these interesting gradients of colour. It actually looks like I've no colour on that. It's weird. My camera's being slightly strange in this light, but I promise you that is green and yellow. Promise. It's darker than it looks. I'm going to bring you guys in a little bit just so you can see what I'm doing. And again, we're then going to select some leaves this time. We'll do a few different ones so you've got different examples. For these, I would create a dark centre, blend that out. Really fade that off. To avoid those kind of lines you get where your colours meet, you don't want that. It's as dark as you can in the base and then really just fade that off and out. Take your medium green as always guys, it doesn't matter, just use whatever pencils you have, use your own colours, dark, medium, light, and a bit of yellow. And for this blend, instead of my pale green, I'm going to go straight to my yellow. And just give that a yellow edge. By mixing up your blend, you'll make your leaves look a bit different to each other. I can already tell you I'm not loving my Schpirrer farben on this paper. So, probably going to wish I hadn't started with these. We may only be doing green in this pencil type, we will see. So, for this leaf here, we're going to give a dark green centre and a dark edge where our shadowed side would be, just here. And just here. You can imagine that leaf kind of curling back on itself, a little bit of depth just there. Let's deepen that up. And then we're going to take our medium green. Okay, my other guy's here now. I've been up here ages, no problem, setting everything up, sorting everything out. Oi, stop it. And no interest at all. And then yes, I turn my camera on and they pop up. So we're just working that in near the other colours, leaving a little patch for our highlight. And they're gone again. I'm sure they just like to check. Make sure there's nothing untoward going on. Probably wonder why I'm talking to myself, I guess. And this time I'm going to use the light green. I'm going to use that to smooth it all out. Oh my god, you can hear them from the other room even, I think. There we go. And then, what else? For these tiny little leaves here, you're going to want a real good sharp point. All I do is pop my darkest colour on the inside and again fade that off a little. And then I take my light green and again we had a sharp point and I'll pop that in the top half. For those. Okay, what else do we have? We've done one of these, done some of these, we've done these. These curlicues in essence work the same as these. The only difference being, we'll do one together, I would add some depth in the base of that and fade that off. Some depth just here, and again fade that off. And the only difference being I would also have a little bit of depth where this junction is, and again fade that off. And just do the same each time, so just in the base of these and lighten them up. little bit just here. Then take our medium green, sharpen that as well. Work that out from the darker colour that we placed. Oops, too sharp. From each section. And then we'll take our light green and we're just going to blend and join all that together. Not popping any yellow in this one, so it would be different to these. Oh, he's licking his feet now. They make awful sounds. They sound horrendous. Right. Let's see. So the only different leaf pattern really I think that we have now. I would do these exactly the same way as this. So we've just got these. Again, a dark green. And you're going to pop that along that centre seam. Bring that up and fade that out a little. And a little bit along the bottom. Fade that in. I like to just blur this line here a little bit as well. I think it looks a bit more realistic. And then our medium green, work that up from the dark, fade that out. They're not awful on this paper, they're just, you know when you've got pencils that just are working really nicely on your paper. Everything's just really effortless and really relaxing. There's no work to your blend, and they still look nice. They do the job. They're not that easy, simple version. Right. I'm going to then bring in my light green. I'm leaving a tiny little bit. Just a tiny little space that I'm going to pop some yellow highlight in. Same again, I'm going to leave a tiny bit in the middle this time. I'm going to bring that light green around in a circle, leave a tiny little space, and we're going to pop a little bit of yellow and a little bit of yellow just for the interest. And if I bring you out, sorry guys, bit of a wobble there, you will see just a nice yet simple effect to give a little bit of life and shape to your page without, you know, spending hours and hours and days on every tiny little detail, making everything look ultra real. That's what I like about the Johanna Basfords, really, just that kind of relaxing three-tone simple blend just to create a little bit of interest. Right guys, I'm going to finish off all the greenery off camera, and then I will be back and we will do our flowers together. Okay, so that is all the greenery done. And I have decided to change pencil brand midway, so I'm sorry about this guys, but real life issues. Didn't like the pencils I was using, so that happens sometimes, you know. Don't be afraid to just finish off the bit you're doing and then swap brand. Realised I haven't used my Prisma in my Johanna Basford book since I've been doing my project, so I'm going to try those and we will see. I've got these kind of red, orange, yellows. I'm going to do some of my flowers in these. So I've got 924 Crimson Red, 1033 Mineral Orange, 1003 Spanish Orange and 914 Cream. I'm going to take my second darkest orange, that mineral orange, and I'm going to sharpen that, give myself a decent edge to these pencils, and I'm going to start with these little, they could be daisies but I don't want mine to be white, so mine aren't. Mine are little pansies then, I've decided. I just give them a dark base. Fade that out. Do these all the same, I think. Why not? I've got something in store for the flower centres, so we're leaving that till the end. And then I'm going to take my cream, sharpen that, and we're going to go with cream edges for these. Trying not to go all the way over my orange because it'll really lighten it up more than I want it to. They tend to be very opaque, do you, Prisma? That's them. I would do the same thing for all the little flowers over the page. So then we have these kind of daffodil looking flowers. I'm going to take that mineral orange again and I'm just going to bring that out from this base here and then out from the bottom of these. Just a little bit, fade it off to give them a dark beginning to these petals. As always, just nice simple little blends to relax, and they don't have to be totally realistic. And I'm going to take a bit of that orange, that Spanish orange colour. I'm just going to sharpen that because they're small areas. Just want to pop a little bit of that over the top of that orange. Give it a bit of a goldeny yellowy hue. Just change that colour slightly. And then we'll take that cream and finish that off. And pop that about halfway up over the top of the other colours just to lighten that. Again, a very simple effect, but it gives you that variation in colour that stops them just looking flat. That's my little centerpieces. And then you would repeat that for these. What else do we have? We have these guys up top. And to be honest, I'd do those the same as these. So you're just going to repeat again, same pattern. These pretty little bluebell looking things down here. I'm going to take my red colour, this crimson red. I'm going to add some red to the base of these. Blend that off and out. And then a little bit of that Spanish orange. Oh, we need a softer blend line there, that won't do. Go back over that red. And soften that line up. And from there I'm going in with that cream. Again, if you apply a little bit of pressure, you can push these around a little bit with the Prisma. You really shouldn't do that, by the way, guys. Use a brush. Prisma will smudge. And I want to soften out that orange to yellow blend as well now. So those will be the colours for those. Rinse and repeat. I really don't know what I want to do with these. I'm not a big fan of the way those flowers are drawn at all. For these middle ones, I'm going to take a little bit of this Spanish orange and I'm going to pop that right in the edges of the petals. Blend that off a little. I'm going to bring it down the middle on one side. I'm going to pop a tiny bit of that mineral orange, tiny little bit, for these centerpieces. I'm just going to blur that onto the petal itself just a little bit, not much, and then I'm going to take my cream. Very subtle variance in that yellow then. Again, rinse and repeat that for those flower petals. These down here, let's see, do we want, I'm going to take my mineral orange and I'm going to pop that right along the edge here, blend that off. Bring it up the sides a little bit. Bit of depth just in the edges. So we've just got those those orange edges, and then the rest. I'm just going to add cream. Oh, gotta stop doing that, guys. Right, rinse and repeat. I think for that very top bit, kind of really inclined just to make it green, just to take my dark green, and I think it would look better as part of the base than part of the flower, if that makes sense. I think I prefer it like that. So just take your dark green and fill those bits in. And then we are left with these. If ever you've got something and you're not sure, I tend to leave it to last. We just leave it to last. So don't worry about the dots, they're going to be done at the end. Got something planned for those, and the flower centres at the end. And apart from that, we have these butterflies and this cute little bumble down here. So butterflies, we'll stick with the colours. I don't think I want them to contrast so much, so I'm going to take that crimson red, and I'm going to very simply pop the deep red in the base of these wings, blend it out. And then my mineral orange, I'm going to go over the top of that, blend that out. And then my Spanish orange, bring that out a little bit further again. And then a cream tip there. Bodies I have a plan for, they will be at the end. I think I know what I want to do with these. We will see. So they will also be at the end. Right, bumble. We're going to take our Spanish orange and we'll have a black head, so an orange piece here, a black and an orange, and then in towards the middle we're going to do cream, and then for our tiny little bumble we're actually going to take some brown and take a really dark brown and a lighter one. So dark and a medium brown. I've used Espresso 1099 and Chocolate 1082. And I'm going to pop that darkest brown around the edge, fade it in. And then that chocolate over the centre. Go back in with my espresso on those edges to deepen those up. And then I want to just really lightly give the impression of the little brown and yellow, so really light, of the body being able to, so just taking the colours, putting them where they would be, a little bit of brown, a little bit of yellow, just like you can see like you can see him through there. And then what I'm going to do is take my Prisma where's my white? There we go, my Prisma white. I'm going to sharpen that, it's a small space. And I'm going to pop some white over the rest of that wing. And that's because I want to use a gel crayon background later. And obviously the pencil will repel the gel crayon a little bit more than if you didn't put any down. So just where I haven't done brown and yellow, I've popped a little bit of white in there. Okay guys, so I want you to finish all the flowers and the other butterfly, ignoring the centerpieces of the butterflies and these hinky looking flowers here. And once that is done, I will be back. We'll do our background and then we will do the embellishment pieces. So bear with me guys. Okay, so flowers are done. Like I said, we're leaving these till the end and I'll show you what I do with elements I'm not keen on. I've left the centres of the flowers because I want to use them a glittery gel pen on those. I think the little bug bodies we will colour in the same as this bee. So we'll take that espresso and chocolate in the Prismacolor that we used earlier. I'm going to pop the dark espresso along the bottom half, fade that in a little bit, nice short point. You might be able to hear my dogs running around. There we go. Just and then going with that chocolate across the top half. And that is that. I'm just hoping my Prisma don't move when I use my gel crayon over the top. That's going to be an experiment for you guys, isn't it? Right, I want a blue background, I think. I've got my cutting board on my left and just some random blending brushes here. I'm going to take a deeper blue first. I might even use a grey in the centre. I do have a little scrap piece of paper on my left to test these colours before dumping them onto my page like a crazy person. So I'm going to start with this Tim Ranger Distress Crayon in Hickory Smoke. You guys know me, I just have a big drawer full of gel crayons. They're all together. I go by colour more than I go by brand. Okay, let's do this. Always tap your brush off slightly onto your board so you're not going to dump a load of colour that then won't blend and move. And light is best with this. I'm using a small brush because there's small spaces inside here. I'm actually starting with a grey. I want my background to be blue. But I am going to pop a little smoky grey centre in. Being a little bit more careful as I go over this pale creamy orange colour. Just rub it off a little bit. And I'm just creating kind of a ring of grey, kind of leaving my bumblebee. alone with the grey. My dog must be able to hear someone outside because he's been obsessed. There's someone at the door for the last 20 minutes. We've both been to the door to show him there's nobody at the door about 4 times now, but he can obviously hear someone down the street and it's driving him mad, thinking there is someone trying to get in that we're not letting in, something like that, I don't know. He's irritated to no end at the moment. He's not really very happy with me right now. So there we have our nice grey ring. I'm then going to bring in some smoky blues. I'm going to try this. Let's try this kingart. I bought a new cutting board because they had them on sale in Lidl and they were like mega cheap for 2 little ones, but it's not as rough as my other one. It's still got a tiny bit of texture to it, so I wasn't sure if it was going to work, but it's actually laying the colour down and let me pick it up really nicely, so quite pleased with that. But it's not quite a smooth texture, but it's not exactly like a roughened surface. It's just got that little bit. It's not shiny, in other words, you know, like a kitchen countertop kind of thing. Got that little bit of grip to it. And my dog is back. Right, we'll try this kingart blue. Let's see. And it's quite a grey, smoky kind of blue, this one. That's why I have picked it. That's why I like it. And we're going to go around and over the edge of that grey and bring that out. I'm apparently not feeling March weather. I'm definitely in a stormy sky kind of mood the last couple of pictures I've done. I don't know. Sometimes you've just got to go with the mood you're in. Colour. The colour you feel. Apparently I'm feeling like a stormy sky. And sometimes it's nice to release that into your page. It's cathartic, isn't it? Is the word. Very cathartic. I actually really like this smoother board. It's just really nice for letting you just pick the crayon up, and then definitely want to tap your brush off a little bit because it's picking up lots of the gel really nicely without the block kind of. On my other one you have to kind of really scrub at the block to get it off because it sinks into all the little rugged grooves. Yeah, he's at it again. I promise you guys there is no one at my door. I'm sure it's a game we've decided. We're playing. Someone will knock now and show me up, probably. It's normally how it works, isn't it? I might leave the butterflies outside the edge of the colour that we're adding. Quite like the effect. And then I'm just going to pop a little bit more. You really never use a lot of these. These things last you many backgrounds. You guys know how much I love a gel crayon background. I'm just going to increase my background up in the sides almost giving it like a little heart shape, and let it come down into the middle. It's gonna kind of have ears. I'm just kind of following the picture itself. Just let those butterflies sit just inside the colour there. And just want to make sure that my dots are inside my background. So we're going to be colouring those after. I want them to pop. It is a workout on your shoulder, this thing, I must admit. Okay, now you'll notice we have our white circle there in the middle. I do want to add a little bit of a darker colour. I'm considering a deep blue. I've got this dark blue here from Shuttle, and then we're just going to add that to a little bit of the grey we used earlier. So I want a dark colour, but I don't want a bright colour. And the grey will just tone that blue down into a bit more of a muted hue. I'm just going to pop that new colour. So I just put them next to each other on the pad and then just blend them into each other. Just test it on my little sheet of paper and just pop that in. And then what you can do after that, if you like, you can pop a little bit more of your grey down. And again, just tone that blue down a little bit more with the grey. You're always going to get a bit of colour shift with your pencil, popping all this gel over. There's not really any way around that, but I don't mind the effect of that. Okay, so do I want to bring my grey out a little bit? I'm going to add this kind of weathered wood. This is kind of a smoky blue. It's got a little bit more depth than this, just to transition between these two layers a little bit better, I reckon. Just because you're kind of that light edge straight to that dark, it's not enough of a transition colour in between. Bear with me. Backgrounds are kind of playing and building really, and adjusting and messing. Okay, there we go. And what you can do to really amp that up, you could use a grey or a smoky blue and edge some of your colouring elements to add excuse me, a little bit of character and kind of depth and richness. Yeah, right, okay, so this stuff dries pretty quickly, but I do tend to suggest just popping a little bit of paper underneath your hand if you're going to work over it. Sorry guys, don't know, very scratchy there. Right, I have this Pentel dual metallic hybrid in gold, and that's what I'm going to use for the centres of all my flowers. So just a sparkly yellow, or you could use a yellow posca. It could be an acrylic if you want. If you don't want any sparkle, you could create a matte version of that. and then I'm going to take my Uniball Signo and we're going to white out all of our black dots. You can leave the bigger ones hollow like the drawing if you like, or I'm kind of filling them in so they look like white snow in different sizes. Up to you. And the white just pops that bit better with some kind of colour behind it. And that's why I tried to extend my gel crayon, make sure that I was past at least all the dots. I'm going to leave these ones hollow. And he's back. So you'll do that all over, and then hello. Yes, give me a minute. Okay, tell me, Kate, give me a minute. Sorry guys. So I have a black posca, and what I do with elements I don't like on a page, or I just don't know the way I want to, you know, make them sit, I like to silhouette them. So I'm going to take all those elements that are as yet uncoloured, and we're going to black posca them. You can colour them. You can then kind of white outline them with gel crayon if you prefer that kind of look. I just prefer to create a silhouette on my page, and I think most of the time when you're done it does look okay. It can look quite striking on the rare occasion I get it right. I just find sometimes with Johanna's flowers, there's just a certain kind that whenever I've coloured them they don't look right, and it frustrates me and it irritates me on the page, and I've finally come to realise that I prefer to deal with them this way. I'm always much happier with my creation, so I'm sure you'll find the way that works for you, but here's a suggestion you can try. So you will do that. I just think that dark to light contrast can be quite pretty. And then finally what I would also do is take these are going to be yellow sparkle, I would take my Uniball Signo and I'm just going to outline his wings as well. Okay guys, I'm going to finish these bits and pieces, so that's all you're doing now. It's all just copy paste, and I will be back in a moment with the finished piece. Bear with me. Okay guys, so I'll just move my things out of the way and lift you up a little bit and refocus. And there we have it, just a very simple, fun, stormy Johanna Basford page. So you can see what I mean now. Sometimes, you know, just those silhouetted elements just kind of pop on the page and you kind of get away with it in a weird way. And it stops me having to mess with those things I don't want to. What you could do as well is use any colour of acrylic to blank those out. So you could have used an orange if you like, a pink, a blue, whatever you like. And the same sort of effect. I just like the idea of the silhouette, and that's why I tend to go for black. I hope you found this useful, guys. You know, what more can I say? It's a Johanna Basford page. The whole point is they're just quite relaxing, quite a nice zen-like page to do when you're just feeling that way out. We've got all our glittery centre elements in the flowers, a little bit of white gel pen on his wings, and of course the white gel pen bubbles. I just always really like that effect. I think it makes it look a little bit pixie-ish, a little bit magical when you white out the little black dots that she adds over the top of the background. And yeah, that is me all done. If you enjoyed the colour along, please give me a thumbs up, guys. And as always, if you enjoyed the channel, please do subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.